All right, we will go ahead and get started. Good morning. Welcome, everyone, to this special occasion. My name is Stephanie Johnson-Burek, and I am the recruiter for the Doña County Detention Center. If I could ask everyone to please stand for the presentation of the colors, and then remain standing for the invocation. Thank you. Chaplain Bill Stickles will now deliver the invocation.
Thank you, and congratulations to each of you. In Psalms 127:1, it says, "Except the Lord build the house, they labor in vain that build it. Except the Lord keep the city, the watchman waketh but in vain." I was thinking about milestones today and what does the Bible speak about it, and I got this from a place called Salt and Light, and from Psalms 90 it says, "So teach us to number our days that we may gain wisdom." As I think about days, they're getting shorter, but your days are still many ahead, and there are many milestones that will happen. Dates on the calendar marking the milestone of our pilgrimage serve to remind us of the passing of time. The first markers are moved from a monolithic pace, and then it seems quicker with every step as each day passes. First, the birth of our first child, the first tooth, the first steps, the first days in school, high school graduation, college graduation, first job, marriage, first child, and the clock ticks. Some say that events feel like the passing at an ever-quickening pace, but of the way we perceive time. Vacations and work go quickly. There are infinite number of days. The first day is always the longest, and after you have hit the midway point, time seems to fly by. David put it this way in Psalms 39:4, "Let us make me to know my end, and what is the measure of my days, that I may know how frail I am." Let the calendar be your friend, numbering your days of sojourn, so that you may look upon each day's milestone or not with an anticipation of the recognition and experience God sends you his grace. Be sure to include God in your celebration of each milestone. Remember that what you have learned from each milestone and the achievements. Note that some achievements will be made with minor effort and much will take great effort, which you've just accomplished. And remember to pass your wisdom along to others. Shall we pray? Dear Lord, I ask that you help each and every officer make the best use of each and every day, to make wise choices and to remember our days or the number of our days and to make the most of each. Help the officers remember that they have been taught to use and apply it. May they continue learning and growing in knowledge and skills. Help each of them reach their full potential and full abilities. Help them to remember the choices and decisions and the matter and choices, and help them to make wise choices. Help us to look to each other in time of need, and help us to look to you in our greatest needs and our greatest drought. And thank you for your help and your wisdom and your guidance and comfort. Dear Lord, I ask for peace and safety at the facility and at home and as we travel. I often pray with inmates from Jeremiah 29:7 and seek the peace of the city wherever you have been caused to be carried away captive, and to pray for that peace. For in its peace you will have peace. And in the book of Numbers it says, "The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn his face towards you and give you peace." Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain. Please be seated. Cadets, please be seated. I'd like to welcome some of our special guests that we have here today. Judge Samantha Madrid. Thank you. Our director, Mr. Daniel Peters. County Manager, Fernando Macias. Chaplain Stickles. And we also have Chaplain David Beam in attendance. Captain Mendoza. And I know the lieutenants are going to kill me, but I'm going to call them out as well. Lieutenant Eberwein, Lieutenant Olivas, Sergeant Billio, who you'll hear from later, Lieutenant Salcido. Our awesome honor guard, thank you. And I know she's in the back, our HR Administrator, Sean Spain. Thank you, Sean. And Corey Stone is around here somewhere taking pictures. So thank you, Corey. Thank you, Joseph, back there. Our speaker this morning, it is my privilege and honor to introduce you to Director Daniel Peters. Director Daniel Peters is a native New Yorker and attended Columbia College. He began his career in law enforcement and corrections in the United States Air Force, where he served in various locations from 1982 to 1986. Thank you for your service. After completing his military service, Director Peters worked as a deputy sheriff in Los Angeles, California, from 1986 to 1991. Director Peters left Los Angeles in 1991 and returned to his native New York, where he accepted a job as a correctional officer with the Federal Bureau of Prisons. Director Peters rose through the ranks and worked in a variety of positions at various locations throughout the United States. His last position in the Bureau was as a field administrator, where he was directly responsible for the daily oversight and operation of 10 institutions encompassing approximately 15,000 inmates. Director Peters retired from the Bureau of Prisons in 2011 and immediately accepted a mission with the U.S. State Department in Kabul, Afghanistan. Director Peters worked as a senior advisor, mentoring high-ranking military officers on Western correctional concepts and prison administration. Prior to his departure, he was assisting the Afghan military on death row protocols. Upon his return from overseas, he worked as an independent consultant and as a deputy warden for 2 private prison corporations. In addition, he served as a deputy director for the Children, Youth, and Families Department, and most recently as a warden at the Southern New Mexico Correctional Facility for the New Mexico Correctional Department. Director Peters recently joined the Detention Center ranks in September of 2019. It is my honor to welcome, please join me in welcoming Director Daniel Peters.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you, and let me first start by recognizing our outstanding instructors. During my tenure with the Bureau of Prisons, I served as an academy instructor for 3 years at the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center in Brunswick, Georgia. It was an honor and a privilege to serve there. The job that our instructors do here at the Detention Center is nothing short of amazing. They take on the tremendous responsibility of shaping and molding the future of our agency. They have my sincere gratitude, and I think we all owe them a round of applause. Today, I would like to speak with you about an English gentleman named Roger Bannister. I would imagine most of you have probably never heard of Mr. Bannister, but he accomplished a tremendous feat that for many years people thought was impossible. His feat was to break the 4-minute mile. For years, he, alongside some of the world's greatest runners, tried to break this barrier. No matter how close they came, no one could ever achieve this goal. It was like there was an impenetrable wall that no one could breach. Despite the insurmountable obstacles, Roger Bannister persisted. There was something deep within his heart and soul that he knew he would be the first to cross this threshold. So he worked and trained with a passion second to none. He continued to push the boundaries and to push himself. After countless tries, he eventually succeeded, and on May 6, 1954, he cracked the impossible barrier, finishing the mile in 3 minutes and 59 seconds. The world was astounded with his physical prowess, but it wasn't just his physical abilities that pushed him over the top. It was his mental attitude, knowing that he could do it. It was mind, body, and soul that solidified his success. Since 1954, over 10,000 people have cracked the sub-4-minute mile, including some high school students. What was once impossible is now commonplace. Why, do you ask? because people thought and believed it was impossible. So it was, until Roger Bannister arrived and changed competitive track and field forever. Roger Bannister later became Dr. Bannister, and just like his days as a runner, he became a highly esteemed physician. I share this lesson with each of you, but especially for our Academy graduates. You are the future of this agency. You will see barriers throughout your careers. Be innovative, be creative, and think outside the box. What may have been impossible 20 years ago may no longer be the case. Do not get boxed into any ideas that may halt your creative thought, progress, or the betterment of our agency. You are the future of this agency and must remember individuals like Roger Bannister to do the impossible and succeed at all costs. I'm not suggesting that we forget our past, not at all. My very first warden told me, never forget your roots and never forget where you come from. This was sound advice then and still rings true to this day. Respect the past and the lessons that they have taught us, but do not be contained by stagnant thought. The old phrase of, "that's how we've always done it," is an obsolete and antiquated approach to our personal and professional lives. Don't fall prey to it. Finally, I ask that you maintain your integrity. It is everything in this business. If you maintain your integrity, everything else will fall into place. I also want to acknowledge and thank the friends and family in attendance today. Your support has assisted your loved ones in accomplishing their goals. Our jobs are difficult and demanding. Your love and support will continue to assist them as they navigate change throughout their careers. The Detention Center is much more than a job. It is a calling that Academy Class 1903 has answered with pride and enthusiasm. So now I call on Class 1903. Please stand. Class 1903, are you with me?
Team!
Are you with me?
Team!
Are you with me?
Team!
Please be seated. Indeed, we are a team. I know we are because you are with me and I continue to be with you. We have each other's backs, now and always. Congratulations, Academy Class 1903. Godspeed. Never forget your roots and never forget your time as a cadet. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Peters. And now I will turn it over to Sergeant Billio.
Thank you all for attending. I appreciate your attendance. Cadets, thank you for your hard work, dedication, just working to this goal. Anything that you want to achieve in this life, it's up to you to get there. You're the only one stopping you from doing it. So even if you do mess up and there's a setback, just get back up, keep working forward, and only you can achieve it. To the families, just keep supporting them. You know them more than anyone else. You can see when they're down. Just help build them back up because they need you more than they may realize. With that, Joseph Vargas, the media developer, has put together a video. Mr. Vargas.
gentlemen. Talk to each other.
Great job, Sergeant Billy O. Joseph back there. Thank you. And now we've come to the very important part of this morning's special ceremony, the oath of honor, which will be administered by Judge Samantha Madrid. The Honorable Judge Samantha Madrid was born in Las Cruces, New Mexico, to one of the founding families of the Mesilla Valley. She obtained her bachelor's degree and law degree from the University of New Mexico. Currently, she is using her education to serve the people of Doña County as a magistrate judge. Prior to her service as a Doña County magistrate judge, she served as an attorney in both prosecution and defense work. She also has experience as a private practice attorney, running her own business and braving the difficulties of small enterprise. Judge Madrid came from humble means and attained her first job when she was 14 years old. She worked very hard her entire life to pay for and obtain her education. Prior to being an attorney, she also served as a high school teacher in the inner city, where she served a student population that was 80% Title I. Her diverse experience and dedication to those less fortunate, and her ability to overcome poverty herself, has made her a strong advocate for others and a fair and impartial judge to the community of Doña. Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Judge Samantha Madrid.
Congratulations, cadets. I've done this multiple times. I'm always shocked at how painful your your experience has to be. And I always just like to thank the family for seeing them through this and just knowing how difficult a process it is and how difficult this job is going to be. And they are going to need your support and your love. And they need you to remind them that they've got it in them, okay? So we just thank the family for your sacrifice and for the fact that you support them through this. And we're really, really proud of them. All right, if you would please stand. Raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I swear on my honor I will never betray. I swear on my honor I will never betray. My badge. My integrity. My character. Or the public trust. I will always have the courage. To hold myself and others. Accountable for our actions. I will always uphold the laws, policies, and procedures of my community, county, and state that I serve. Well done.
Thank you, Judge Madrid. And again, let's congratulate our new officers. Officers, please be seated. All right. At this time, I'd like to invite Lieutenant Ruben Salcido to the podium.
Thank you, Steph. Morning, everybody. I would like to thank everyone for being here today. Congratulations again, cadets, officers from your transition from cadet to officer now. Good job. These men and women went through 6 weeks of classroom training. You guys know training death by PowerPoint, right? So they sat there listening to Sergeant Billio talk about policies, procedures, handcuffing, PREA, bunch of stuff, right? So they had to sit there and listen to that. Good job for sticking it out, by the way. It's a lot of PowerPoints. They also went through physical training, as you guys saw from the video. They went through some PT, they went through TASER, they went through OC. So they learned a lot about themselves through this whole process. In addition to that, when they finished their academy, they went on to the FTO program, which is the program that bridges the gap between the classroom to the actual job that we do on the floor. So they went through 4 weeks of that, and here they are, successfully passed it. Good job, guys. Way to work. They made the choice to take this job and risk their safety for the well-being of the citizens of Doña County, as well as those incarcerated. This is not an easy job, as you all may know. They also know this, and yet they still choose to do it. And for this, I'm proud of them. A few tips I would like to pass on to you guys before I move on. Make good choices on and off duty. You represent the detention center, all right? So the choices you make on and off duty, make sure they're good choices. Mistakes will be made. We all make them, own up to them, learn from them, and move forward. Lastly, I want you to know that we see you working hard day in and day out. Maybe not every day are you going to hear us say, hey, good job. Out there, no one's going to give you a pat on the back. Don't let that discourage you. Don't ever doubt that we don't recognize your hard work and dedication to the facility. We know you guys are there, and we know you're working hard. Again, congratulations. Right, at this time, I would like to recognize Officer Barrio for being the class valedictorian. He scored the highest GPA out of the cadets in the class. Good job, Officer Barrio.
Good morning, family, friends, Director Daniel Peters, fellow members of the Detention Center, and all its service members. I want to give thanks to our families, our leaders, Sergeant Puente, Sergeant Bilio, Lieutenant Salcido, and our FTOs. As we gather here today, I see my fellow classmates in the official Doña County Detention Center uniform. I can't help but reflect our journey together. It all started one early morning in October, where strangers would soon become family. We learned early and fast that we're only going to get through this next couple weeks together. We're a small class, but a strong class. Long days came, but we wouldn't let each other fail, whether it came to PT, classwork, death by PowerPoint, or everybody's favorite OC day. But I will gladly walk through the valley of the shadow of death. I will fear no evil, for by my side I have my comrades. Comrades that I've been through thick and thin, through sacrifice, blood, sweat, and tears. Never will I let them down. Fellow graduates, wherever life takes you, always remember, you are your only limit. Thank you.
Good job, Officer Barrios. Okay, at this time, we're going to issue the certificates of completion of the academy to the officers. If you guys would like to come up into the middle area right here and take pictures, that would be okay. Just don't pass the first row of chairs because they're going to be passing by there. Right? Officer Anaya, please come up. Officer Segoviano. Officer Hawkins. Officer Barrio. Officer Cruz. Thank you, everybody. Well done, officers. I would also like to take this time to thank my instructors, academy instructors, Sergeant Puente, he is out today. Sergeant Billy is here today. I would like to thank them, all the instructors at the detention center that helped us out, that made this possible. It's not easy to go that many days running the academy, so we get some help from many of the other instructors that we have at the facility to help us out. Thank you very much for all your work. Good job again, guys.
You may be seated. Thank you. And I did want to make mention, although, as was alluded to earlier and was stated, it is a small class, but please know that even though it is a small class, these special 5 individuals had to beat out over 100 applicants, at least, to be sitting up here. More than 100, quite honestly, and to go through the hiring process and then the academy in itself. So please, again, be very, very proud of these 5 new officers. Good job. And as I like to do and put people on the spot, I always like to thank our military service, those who have served or are still serving, reserves, guard, any branch of the military. And I'd like to recognize the one individual who has served our country. And he's going to continue to serve. And to all of you out there, again, who are serving, thank you, or who have served. With that, if everyone would please stand for the retiring of the colors. That concludes this morning's ceremony. Thank you to all of our special guests, to our family members and friends, to our new officers. Thank you again for being here, and please go enjoy and celebrate the accomplishments. Thank you.